Hey, James. I was hoping my glasses would turn. Oh, thank you. Clint, where are souvenirs? I got yeah, bitch. You didn't come up there and look. I just see you in the sight. But anyway, I was laughing about the business giving me a hard time. But I did. I picked this kid. I called out for you. Mine's short, too. Nobody come in here. Now y'all got a problem.
Leave him something. Talk.
Hey, let me tell you something.
No jokes.
Show up. He's always good.
You want to do it?
Y'all been at the local level, you know. Eddie, you gonna sit there?
I don't think I'm going to hire him.
Okay.
Right there.
Yes. We'll turn it around when we get ready. When you get ready for the video.
Yeah, we can
Yeah,
see
and we got the sides. Okay.
You don't have anywhere for us to introduce Eddie, but if you just want to do him first and let him show what happened.
Hey, Eddie, let me do this. Let me kind of kick off and kick it to you to show, if you got the path and everything on your,
We've got the video where we were looking for the path.
okay,
So it shows most of the path, yeah.
okay. Why don't I introduce Sam just real quickly and kick it to Eddie, and then he'll show us kind of the overall thing. Does that sound okay to you? Sure. Okay. Okay. Thank y'all for being here today. Most of you are aware, I'm Mayor Ronnie Marks, and I just want to tell you how much I appreciate Representative Danny Crawford and the team from Montgomery coming to join us today. We are very, very blessed that we didn't get destroyed more than we have in the city of Athens. We've got a lot of damage, heartbreaking news for some of our local merchants. They're going to get back on their feet, and our Athens Main Street and others will help make that happen along with all of our assistants. But I wanted to just give a shout out today to all the volunteers. I have been involved in disaster relief recovery for a number of years, all the way back in my old DHR days, and worked the hurricane with Governor Riley, then tornadoes in 2011, 12, 13, and 14. And I know that our other local delegates here have been in the path of those destructions, and they know what we're going through. Can't tell you how many phone calls that I've had from the League of Municipalities, from mayors all over the state of Alabama, and the mayor from Pulaski, Tennessee, saying, we're here to help. I don't know that I've ever seen the cooperation between the city and county, Colin, from our police departments, our sheriff's department, our street sanitation, and all the other workers that came together to clean up the debris. I was here from about 11:30 or 12 o'clock on Saturday night till about 2:30 a.m. with our city attorney and others walking the streets and seeing what was going on. And I came back on Sunday morning, and there was people all the way from Michelle Williamson to Pammy Jamar, who is our Chamber of Commerce director, that was up actually on the courthouse lawn picking up debris, carrying it over to a trash pile. That's what we are. That's what we're about, and we're here to help. I want to kick this to Representative Danny Crawford, who's then going to turn it over to our EMA Director, Eddie Gilbert, to just try to look at the overall view. Okay, Representative Crawford.
Thank you, Mayor, and I appreciate you letting us have this today. I want to echo what the Mayor said about the cooperation from our city and the county and the immediate response of our first responders to keep people from getting hurt with all the power lines down. And also Terry Richardson with Main Street. We appreciate all you've done and are doing and continue to do to help us get through this or get us back on the right road. Talked with the governor's office this morning, been in contact with them throughout the week, and they want an update after we get through here today. And then but I'll introduce some of the other members who are here, but on behalf of our Limestone delegation, and Andy Witt is a member of that, we appreciate the efforts of the volunteers and all the county and the city workers, and it's just been tremendous, and it's got us through a tough time. We're still going through it, so it still will take a lot more cooperation and continued support of the public, but we appreciate that. Eddie Gilbert's going to show us sort of what was going on and why we're here today.
Thanks, sir. Yeah, I want to echo also what Representative Crawford and the mayor said about the community coming together. They showed up and they showed out. So the video will show a little more of the damage than what you see now. So go ahead and start the video. And I'm going to let Caleb King, he's our PIO for EMA. He's going to give a little overview of all the things that took place.
And Caleb, we got 30 seconds for the train, you know. We don't want to stop the train.
All right. We'll let her keep rolling.
If you want to go ahead and get the video going, and then we can kind of go
No,
through.
there's no volume on the video, so I'll just let Caleb talk while you watch the video. We're starting.
All right.
This starts from 72, just let's see, just west of Jefferson Street. Okay.
Good morning. So around 8:09, the SPC issued out a tornado watch for Coleman, Limestone, Morgan, Colbert, Franklin, Lauderdale, and Lawrence. NWS kind of went into a broad rotation that was in the Tuscumbia and Florence area. At that time, it wasn't enough to warrant a tornado warning. At 10:32 p.m., Lauderdale, Lawrence, Limestone, and Morgan entered a severe thunderstorm warning. They continued that warning at 10:45, and the National Weather Service advised that they had broad rotation noted around Moulton. They reissued a severe thunderstorm warning around 10:54 for Limestone, Madison, Coleman, and Morgan, and they continued the tornado watch for central and northwest Alabama. The severe thunderstorm warning was continued at 11:03 p.m., and then the National Weather Service advised that there was another broad rotation area in southern Limestone County. However, it did not amount enough for a tornado warning. At 11:17, we started receiving storm damage reports on the Southwind Drive apartment area. At 11:18, we started receiving them on Marion Street. At 11:20, the National Weather Service continued the severe thunderstorm warning. And then at 11:28, Athens Fire first arrived on scene at the square. 11:32 p.m., we started receiving scattered power outage reports and then damage east of Clements. We received multiple reports of damage to buildings around the square and a report that the roof was off of the courthouse around 11:41 p.m. At 11:44, the severe thunderstorm warning was canceled in Limestone County. And at that point, the EMA personnel, Sheriff's Office, started to arrive around the square at 11:44 p.m. Athens Fire and Athens Police had already started search and rescue operations. And then further city and county personnel began to arrive at the damaged areas to assist. We kind of kept that up till about 2 o'clock and then began again Sunday morning, where we started to do the initial assessments and the path of the tornado. We kind of figured out, that we started over near the Southwind apartment area, so that would be Jefferson and Sandifer. And then it kind of dropped a few different times. You had damage over there behind Taco Bell, and then it kind of picked up and then started again around Regions. And then you have the square damage, you have Clinton and Beatty Street, and then you kind of end up where it picks up again and then drops at Elm Street again. So the tornado path was 3.8 miles in total and around 160 yards wide. The National Weather Service determined that it was an F1 rated tornado. And around lunchtime, several of the North Alabama Mutual Aid groups for emergency management arrived in Limestone County to assist doing damage assessments. The city damage assessments were concluded around 5 p.m. And the next day, damage assessments were conducted in the Ripley community. All those damage that were out there in the Ripley community, National Weather Service stated that those were only straight line wind damage. And that's all I have.
Keep in mind, we're
Continue to assess the situation.
we're surveying with these videos, so some of it may not have damage on it.
Yeah, we know the first place that it touched down was right there in the Sandifer Road area. And it appears the last place that we have seen is up on Elm Street with a little place that was operating as a church there. It's destroyed, and several other things. At this time, I'm going to turn it back over to Representative Crawford. And if you will, Representative, would you introduce your team that's here today?
I will. Thank you so much, Mayor. With us today is two people that lead the legislature in Alabama. And they're two of the finest men that I have been associated with in Montgomery. And on the Sunday night, Speaker Ledbetter reached out to me to see what he could do to help. And then on Monday, he said, why don't I just come over and look at it and see what we can do. So that was wonderful. And then I said, I said, let's get Garland Grudger. Garland is the President Pro Tem elect, will take office in February and runs the Senate. So those are the people, the movers and the shakers in Alabama. And they thought enough of our community to come over here today and see what our needs are. And I can assure you they will do all they can to help us with the governor's office and anything else. So first we'll have our Speaker of the House, Nathaniel Ledbetter, and then after that, Speaker Pro Tem elect Garland Grudger will speak then after that. So Speaker, address us.
Well, certainly a pleasure to be here. It'd like to be different circumstances, but it's amazing to me to see the cleanup that's already taken place. And while we were touring the damage out on the street and listening to people talk about they were out in the rain picking up debris right after the storm come through. I've heard the slogan, Mayor Athens Strong. I don't think there's any doubt about that. The people of this community has risen up to clean up the community and keep it solid and go in the way that they've built it up. So I commend your staff and you, and Mr. Commissioner, I commend your staff and you. This area is very fortunate to have people like Andy Witt and Danny Crawford. Danny Crawford and Andy are two of the strongest legislatures in Alabama. And if anything they need, I can assure you we're going to try to help them. And in this circumstances, dealing with it firsthand in my hometown a few years back of devastation, I understand what it is. And certainly we're going to do everything we can from the state standpoint to make sure that Athens is made whole. And that's our goal, and that's the reason we're here today, is to see what we can do and to find out what the needs are and to work with the Senate, with Senator Grudger in his new role and trying to make sure that we can help you make Athens whole again. So I commend the people of Athens for their strength and the courage that they've shown after this storm. But know that we're with you, and know we're going to help you any way we can. And like I said again, you're blessed to have people like Danny Crawford and Andy Witt representing you. So our office is always available and open. Mayor, I think you know that. Mr. Commissioner, you know that for sure. So if anything we can do, we're going to do it. So just let us know, and we'll be glad to try to help out any way we can. Thank
you. My name is Garland Grudger, Senate Pro Tem elect for the Alabama State Senate. Walking around today, this is not a new sight to me. In 2011, like a lot of us in Alabama were hit by the tornadoes then. My business, my home, place where I worship, all were affected. I had to live in our parking lot in an RV for a month afterwards while we helped clean up the debris that's been out there. Limestone County's got a rich history. And the reason I tell you about that story in 2011 is that the people that are in Limestone County, you can tell, have the strength, Speaker, that you said, and the willpower to bring this community not only back to where it was, but better. The silver lining in 2011, I think throughout the state of Alabama, like it is going to be here with Limestone County, is that silver lining is we're going to build back better. We're going to build back stronger. We're going to build back so that this place is the best place in North Alabama that you can live, that you can work, that you can play, and that you can worship. And by doing that, the only way to do that and accomplishing that task is by having a team that comes together. And to begin with, we'll start with our federal delegation. Senator Tuberville and Senator Britt have already called and tried to make insight on what they can do with the assessments that are coming in daily. You go to the state with the governors. We've all been in touch with the governor's office. They would like our assessment after today. The Speaker and I will be talking with her directly. And then as we go down, the Alabama State Senate that I represent is standing and willing to be able to help the people of Limestone County in any possible way as we partner with the House of Representatives, the Speaker, and the Limestone delegation, Danny Crawford and Andy Witt, that are present with us today, along with the senators that represent Limestone County delegation. That's not where it stops, though. It also goes to the locals, to the mayor, city council, county commission, and the chairman of the commission, and the volunteers, and everybody with the law enforcement, all have to work together in tandem with the people that are here in Limestone County to make this place the best it possibly can be. The purpose of this whole talk is to make sure that you know that the Alabama State Senate is sitting and waiting to hear what we can do to help Limestone County. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Senator. And these guys have lived this in their community. They've been where we are, and that makes it really in their heart and in their soul. Just want to tell you real quickly, shout out to Congressman Dale Strong's office. Not only did he call real early on Sunday morning, he was here, boots on the ground. Senator Katie Britt's office called, and I talked with them, totally supportive. And then, as I still call, Coach Senator Tuberville's office called, and they are on board with us. Everybody together, the collaborative effort from Main Street to our small businesses downtown. And I want to turn it over now to Chairman Daly for a few words with him.
Thank you, Mayor. First of all, I just want to shout out what everybody has said. It takes a village no matter what, and that's what we have here. We have a village. City council, city, everybody, we all work well together. That's one thing we do. When we're in need, we all work well together. But I want to thank my sheriff. My sheriff was out there that night with us. He had the crew out the next morning. We were picking up trash. And, people like Sean Gonzalez, people out in the community, he just calls and says, hey, what can I do to help? And he's in the roll-off dumpster business. We've picked up 10 or 12 dumpster loads of stuff around the square, and he donated his time. A tree service guy came out and cut up trees, and we finally let us buy him a chain for his chainsaw for what he done, and he works hours. And me and Mr. Andy Witt here, Representative Andy Witt, we stayed there and dug a monument out from under that tree, and I want to thank him for his boots on the ground. But I want to thank all the delegation, legislation, Mr. Gudger and Mr. Ledbetter for being here with us today. That's one thing, Alabama's 67 counties, and I'm on a big with ACCA, and we're 67 strong, and so we're all going to be here together. Thank you, everybody, for being here.
Thanks, Colin. Again, I want to give a shout out to all of our first responders. My goodness, what a great job that everybody did. From Blair Davis is sitting in the audience with us with the utility department. With electric, we had, about 20 poles that had to be replaced and set. And those guys were on the job both day and night, all night Saturday night and all day Sunday, and all the way through Monday afternoon when we got all the power restored. From our first responders to the fire department, our police department, all of our city and county workers that was here volunteering. I can't say enough because I really have been in this all the way from Hurricane Katrina with Governor Riley all the way through the tornadoes of 11, 12, 13, and 14. Awesome community. We will survive. We have some devastating news with our local business people, and we're going to be there to help each and every way that we can to make their lives back and where they can be back and operational in our community. So at this time, honoring those, I will open up any questions for the media, if you have any, to any of the group here that you would like to ask if the media has questions.
Mayor, if you don't mind, is there like an estimate for how many local businesses were actually impacted by this tornado?
Eddie, do y'all have any specific information?
I don't have a list with me, but during our assessment, we contacted as many businesses we could get in touch with, and we have a procedure we go through with the state. It's an app called Orion, and it captures any damage and sends it straight to the state. We're in the process of finishing that up right now.
Yeah. So to give you an exact number, I don't know, but we are assessing that, and we'll have that available. Yes, Gene.
Gene Cole, Decatur Daily. I wondered if you have a damage amount that you place on the dollars damage.
I know that we've had, our people here and our city engineers and county engineers looking as far as a dollar assessment. Eddie, I'm not aware now that there has been a dollar assessment. That will be turned in at state level to see if we qualify for any kind of funding sources. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. Yes, Justin.
So just talk about the added blessing, kind of having no one injured and no fatalities.
Oh, my goodness. And his question was nobody injured. Knock on wood. That is absolutely amazing. If this thing had hit the ground and stayed on the ground, or if it had hit in the daytime, or if it had hit on Saturday night in our downtown when we had people out kind of celebrating, enjoying themselves. And although we are devastated, we are so blessed that as far as I know, there's been no reports of injuries or certainly any fatalities. So the good Lord was with us, and he will continue to bless Athens. Thank you. Any others?
Can you speak to potentially of what delays the courthouse potentially could have? They were closed earlier this week, and what happens to the court cases?
Yeah, the question is about the courthouse, Mr. Chairman. I'll kind of kick that to you to say, do you have any idea when you may be back open?
We actually never closed. We opened back up the next day. The court system, that's, you know, they didn't hold courts after the first year. That's right, didn't Sheriff? And but now all the offices were back open the next right after, just like everything was normal. We operated normal hours. Yes, we just, like I said, that was just but the court system itself, they didn't have any court schedule till after the first of the year. So that's just a court scheduling that was always out.
Are you able to speak? You know, I know we saw one of the entrances is kind of blown out. Can you talk about just the extent of the damage to the courthouse?
Well, you know, of course, all of the debris hit the courthouse mostly. We got some roof damage. They're up there now taking the weather vane out, just got it out. The dome on top had some damage. We've got 3 or 4 broke out windows, but it's just some doors that go under there, and it blowed all those doors out. And we've got that temporarily blocked off, which we always have entered from the west side of the courthouse anyways for security reasons, but that's just the side that the employees come in and out, so they're just having to walk all around to come in. But they said it would take 8 to 10 weeks to get those door frames built back in and stuff. But we own the OL&N Depot. Used to be it's the building that took the most damage of any building the county owns. We had 3 or 4 buildings had some damage, but it was the most.
And you know, a lot of people, you know, talk about the big tree outside the courthouse. You know, that kind of came down. You know, there were some monuments damaged. You know, are those going to be able to be replaced or fixed?
Well, the good Lord was with that monument. It was that monument is sacred. It's it was a Vietnam Veterans Monument. It has all of the people from Limestone County who lost their name in it. And the tree actually hit it and drove it in the ground. And I would have bet anything it would have broke it, but it didn't even put a hard scratch on it. And like I said, me and Andy, it was a gentleman, I can't think of his name. He's a tree service guy. And he came out and volunteered his time and worked around the clock to cut it out. And we cut it out and saved it. And it was there's 2 ground monuments there, but they're not hurt. So it was a Vietnam veteran and a Korean War and an Iraq War, but they're all fine. So, and we will be moving those around the other side of the courthouse for right now and sticking them up where all the firefighters' monuments and stuff are until we get that re-landscaped and redone. I know we've talked with Terry about Terry Richardson on Main Street has been she is amazing at what all she can do with stuff, and her team. We're looking at maybe trying to plant a bigger tree back, so that would be, we know we'll have to have the area to work and stake all that off and stuff, so that would, we'll be working on re-landscaping that. So, anything else while I'm up here? All right.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chairman. And another shout out to President of our City Council, Mr. James Lucas. Thank you for your support, and he's always with us, kind with us, and so is Councilman Chris Seibert. Thank you. And the other council members had some events going on today and couldn't be with us. But we stand strong and we stand in support of each other. So thank everybody for being here today. I know there was some personal damage to Purcell Lumber Company. There's also some personal damage to a building up on Elm Street. So we're assessing all the situation, and we just want everybody to know that we stand strong to try to help every way that we can. Yes?
Will the city be getting any sort of financial help from the state to help with these repairs?
I think we're still a little early to know that, depending on the assessments and maybe what the gap is between their local or personal insurance and what the damage is. And if we are declared any state of emergency, there's a certain dollar range in that, I believe. Eddie, is that not right?
Yes.
Okay.
For public assistance, which would be debris removal, damage to infrastructure, our threshold is $488,850. But in order for, even if we meet our threshold, the state has a cumulative number for all the different counties that have damage.
Right.
That has to be 9.5 million.
Right. Yeah, thank you. Okay, thanks for that. Any others?
Just real quick, I mean, you talked about it earlier as well. Can you talk about the volunteers and the first responders that showed up Sunday night going into Monday, just getting done their work and just kind of getting the city back to?
Volunteers have been amazing. They got in, hit the ground, boots on the ground, and like I said, I had calls from all over the state with mayors and their staff that was willing to help, saying we're on our way, how can we help you? And we've actually turned some folks back to say, hey, hold off. And I can't give another shout out to the people that delivered the water from the Pepsi company to, oh gosh, I hope I don't leave anybody out, but the Slim Chickens that brought tons of food here, the people that delivered donuts, the Southern Table that cooked food out on the grill behind their place on downtown to say, come join us, thank you for being here, and I hope I didn't miss anybody. But it truly has been an amazing last 24, 48, 72 hours. Thank y'all for being here, and thanks for covering it.
Real quick, I couldn't help but notice the giant pile of water.
Well, it was much larger. We had our electric department, our street department, police, fire. It was piled up to about your head with Gatorade and water, and that most of that was a donation from the Pepsi family in the city of Decatur that stands strong with us, that's always here to help. So thank you.
Mayor, one more thing.
Yes.
Our VOED group from Limestone County, Southern Baptist, they've been out doing some
Assessments?
Well, they've been out doing some cleanup.
Okay.
Debris removal, that type of thing. And if anybody knows of anybody that needs assistance, volunteer assistance, y'all contact us and let us know, we'll get it to the right people.
Thank you. In other words, VOAD's out, and if you know of anybody that needs assistance, don't hesitate to call. Go through EMA. They're the point person for that. And our Veterans Museum will be bigger and stronger when we grow back, right, Sandy? Thank y'all. Thanks for being here today.
Appreciate that. Appreciate that. Congratulations. Thank you. Mr. Chairman,